Right, let's begin with a little reminder of one of my previous videos. In fact, this is the video about making Google Chrome productive, okay? And that is searching your drive from your URL bar, because normally, as you can see, I'm in my drive here and I could go to my search bar and search for things. But what if I was in a complete homepage and I had a complete blank like this tab here, okay? I don't want to have to navigate to my drive to get there. Now, you can set up basically any website to be a search engine. I will link the video to show you how to do this above and below. But making sure you've got this for Google Drive will make your life a lot easier. I have mine set up, so I type in DR and then tab, and I can search within Google Drive. Now, in this case, I'm going to search for a PDF file. I'm going to put in the word type and PDF, and it will do that search for me. Now, later on in this video, I will talk a little bit more about the different titles for search criteria, like the one I have done in here. Okay, now by typing in that, what it's doing is it's currently now searching for all the PDF files that I've got saved in my drive, anything that's been shared with me in that drive or that I have access to. Now, obviously, you would want to cut that down a little bit more, and I will talk about that a little bit later. But set up Google Drive search from your URL bar. Check out my previous video for that. Hi guys, I'm Andy, aka Googleman, and welcome back. So we're going to be looking at Google Drive today. Now, like a lot of my previous videos, this is going to be kind of a productivity focus, and Google Drive for me is quite possibly one of the most powerful filing systems out there. It's certainly my one of choice, both professionally and personally. I think it works really, really well. And some of the things that I'm going to show you, all of the things that I'm going to show you in this video, will help you to be able to use Google Drive that much more productively, so you are able to get through more of the important things that you just need to get done. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get straight in. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to start off by talking to you about keyboard shortcuts, because these for me are like the bread and butter of being able to be really, really productive in any one of the programs that you use in Google Workspace, and Drive is no less than that, okay? Here are some of the ones that I use on pretty much a daily basis. To kind of like work my way through. You can obviously use just the standard arrow keys to navigate your way around once you're in there. Okay, just up and down arrow keys. Obviously, I'm in the main list right now. If I wanted to go over into the menu on the left-hand side there, if I go GN, it will navigate me over to that side, so I can now move between my priority drive, recent stars, and all that kind of thing. If I want to get back over into my main list, I go G and then L, and it takes me back into that center list, and I can navigate up and down there again. What I'm also able to do in here is if I press N, it gives me a shortcut to rename any of the files that are in there, okay? This is really, really handy. So instead of having, because normally you would have to either right click to bring that menu up, or you can press A, it's another keyboard shortcut, to bring up the entire menu and select rename from there. What I can just do is press N to rename that file and kind of just leave it at that, okay? That is really, really simple. And in the same vein in there, if I press the Z button, this will allow me to move those files around in there. So if I need to move a file, instead of again going into the menu, I can navigate into my mini drive in here and find out where I want to put it and just move that file there. But I would say don't move the entire file. I'll talk about that in a moment as well, okay? So don't worry about that. If I want to share the file with somebody, again, I could go into the file, I could bring up my menu. What I do is I press the full stop button, and it brings up my share menu right in the middle of the screen there, and I can start typing in the recipient's name straight away if I'm going to share that file. That's really, really quick and easy, and then Control and Enter when I'm done with that will allow me to just send it. So again, I really don't have to click anywhere on the screen to make that happen. It's really, really easy. Now, I spoke a moment ago about not moving an entire file unless it is to somewhere in your own drive. Now, if you're organizing your own folders, that's all well and good, and you are welcome to do that. But let's say you're working in a shared folder and you're working on a joint project together, and you have created something that goes along with that. Now, you've got your own folder hierarchy in there. You've put it in a place that makes sense to you, and you don't want to move it out of there Making a copy of it to move into that folder would be too unwieldy because you'd lose all of the edits that go into there. So do this instead. With the file that you want selected, obviously I've got a sound file here, but it works for anything, whether it's a document or a slide or anything else like that, is if I go Shift and Z. Now what this does is it brings up my mini drive again, and if you look carefully on here, it actually says add shortcut, and what I'm actually doing is adding a shortcut to the file. So again, I'm going to go over to where this original shortcut is, and I'm going to press enter, and it generates that shortcut for me. So then I'm going to move that shortcut into whatever folder I'm working in instead of the original file. That way, any changes that get made by the other people that are there are reflected in the document that I've created the shortcut of, but I don't lose control of that file, particularly if you're working in the shared drives. Okay, obviously they're not visible on here right now. But if you've got shared drives or what used to be called team drives, when you drop things into there, you actually lose ownership over those files. They go to your organization. But if you put the shortcut in there, you maintain ownership of that document. It means that you have all of the privileges that go along with it. So it's really, really worthwhile remembering to share shortcuts to your main documents where you have multiple people working on them instead of the actual file itself. Just to jump back to keyboard shortcuts for a moment, the last one I do want to show you leads into the next thing, and that is the / key, which takes you into the search bar at the top of the screen there. Now obviously that is fine, you can search for things, but you have quick ways of going into advanced search. Now, normally you've got the arrow on the right hand side here, you click that and it brings up your advanced search options, and that's absolutely great. But there's another way to speed that along. So if you know that you're looking for a PDF file, for example, you use the /, put in the word type and PDF. I can then press enter and it will search and bring up any file in my drive that is a PDF file. Okay, now what about if this file was edited before or after today, or just for today? I can go into my search bar again. I'm going to type in the word after and then today. What this will do is it will find any files on there that have been edited after midnight this morning. Okay, so anything that's been done today, that's just edited today, will appear there. Now, as you can see in there, I've also got files that are owned by like a real world version of me. Okay, another version of myself. And obviously in my normal workday drive, I've got files that are shared by various people as well. So if I go back into my search bar, I can actually search for an owner. Now, in this case, I can search for the owner to be me. It could be the name or email address of someone that shared it with you, because chances are you would perhaps know that somebody has shared this file with you. You might even know little snippets of information that might be part of that. Okay. The best things about all of this is you can actually combine all of these advanced search criteria together in a string. So if I know I'm looking for a spreadsheet that is owned by me, that is to do with GCSE, but not to do with drama, because I run music and drama. So I don't want any of the drama information, I just want the other information. Now I could do this a couple of ways. I'm going to do it this way. So into my search bar I go. I know I'm going to go type : and I'm going to type in sheet because I'm looking for a Google sheet. This will also search for any Excel spreadsheets I've got in there as well. The owner of the file is me. I want it to include the words GCSE, but I want it to exclude drama. Okay, now that is telling this search string that it's a spreadsheet owned by me that's about GCSE but doesn't have drama in it. Now, you wouldn't necessarily put 4 things into the search string. You wouldn't need to necessarily. But this is just an illustration for you that it will then search for just those things. And in this case, it only comes up with one result, which if you've got enough information in there, then you can type quite quickly. You'll find it really quickly. And if it's this might be something that is buried under folder and folder and folder, depending how you've got your drive organized. Okay, even if it's really well organized, it might be quite far down the hierarchy. This brings it to the front really, really quickly. So learning these little headings that can go into that is really, really useful to you, and it will save you so much time. So there we have it. That is Google Drive and how to use it to help with your productivity. I hope you found that really, really useful, and there are things in there that you can take away and start using immediately. Scrub that one. Take two. So that's it. That is making Google Drive work for you, and some of the things that you can do to help yourself be productive with Google Drive. If you're new to the Google Drive platform, then please do check out my Google Drive Basics video. I'll link it above and below for you in here, so you can check that out and then come back to this one to use some of these kind of like hints and tips to work through Google Drive. Don't forget to check out my website, www.akagoogleman.com as well, and I will see you all next time. Until then, stay well, stay safe, Googleman out.